Welcome back, dear audience, to our sixth session for today. It's 4:30. This means it's time to look at NEMETSCHECK. We have the breakout session called Revolutionizing Design and Construction, how NEMETSCHECK is building the future with Google AI. Think about how we design, build, and run buildings. The industry, architecture, engineering, construction, and operations, also called AECO, that's something I learned, is going through the biggest change in probably 100 years. Now, we could ask the question, why is this happening right away? Why now? Well, because of generative AI and the power of Google Cloud. You heard I said Google Cloud, that's the little advertisement here. It's obviously also because of cloud in general. My name is Maxi Gläsle. I'm a consulting account lead at Google Cloud, and I'm approximately 10 years with the company. But today, I'm your moderator for this fantastic stage. And in this session coming up, we're pulling back the curtains on something truly game-changing. The global leader NEMETSCHECK and Google Cloud have teamed up. They are building a revolutionary AI assistant that will redefine industry workflows. For that, we will shortly welcome Julian Geiger, who is the VP Data and AI from NEMETSCHECK, who will show us how this AI partner makes work smarter, faster, and even more human. For that, I'm too fast, because we have a second speaker with us later. Julian will be joined by Saskia Nothacker, our account manager from Google, to actually go a little bit deeper in a little fireside chat with Julian. So now, without further ado, please welcome with me Julian Geiger. Welcome to stage. Big applause. Julian, thank you so much for being here with us today, and please take it away.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me today. It's great to be back. There's actually a little story behind this. I'm a former Googler, just left Google more than 1 year ago, and have to say Google really grew a lot, as evidenced by this theater. Really great to see and well-deserved. I left Google to help lead one of the most exciting transformations in German companies in 2025. And what we're doing at NEMETSCHECK is really revolutionizing the AECO industry from the ground up using AI. Some of you might ask, who is NEMETSCHECK? Understandable question. But we are actually the second largest technology company in Germany listed on the stock market. So it's a fairly large company. We have more than 80 locations globally, covering more than 7 million users across all aspects of the AECO industry. We operate roughly half-half in Europe and the Americas, and we're growing very strongly in Asia right now. So a very truly global business built on science, technology, and the ability to see where technology is going from a very early stage. Our visionary founder, Professor NEMETSCHECK, founded the company more than 60 years ago when he realized that personal computers are really changing the architecture business. And today we're extending that legacy using AI. So what do we have in the group? NEMETSCHECK actually covers, as I mentioned, all aspects of the AECO industry. It starts with the architects at the beginning. You have market leaders like Graphisoft, Archicad, Vectorworks, Allplan that really, truly shape how our built world looks like through their software. In the building construction segment, we have Bluebeam, who's basically a household name in the construction industry in the US, really covering pretty much all the construction sites out there. GoCanvas, Nevaris, also market leaders in their respective segments in construction ERP in the Nevaris side, GoCanvas with field worker support, and more. On the operate and manage side, we have solutions such as Spacewell that really help our customers operate buildings efficiently and sustainably. And then finally, media, we have Maxon, and they are producing 3D animation software that is really used in pretty much all the games you might be playing and a lot of the movies that you're watching. They have tools such as ZBrush, which were on the App Store, Apple App Store top 10 for a while when they launched it earlier this year. So very broad portfolio, and really that end-to-end coverage allows us to take a very holistic perspective on the industry and optimize not just for individual segments, but really optimize the whole chain. One thing changed, though. Every generation or so, there's this moment where a fundamental new technology comes online. And we believe that AI actually is probably the most revolutionary technology humanity has ever seen. And for that reason, we said we actually have to shift gears in the NEMETSCHECK group. We have to go away from individual companies, a portfolio that covers all aspects more or less individually, but really integrate it more firmly and bring AI to all those companies and connect them in a new way. This is why we last year founded the AI and Data Innovation Hub that I'm co-leading for the AI side. And our mission is to make creativity more creative and productivity more productive. This is our mission statement. And we have a lot of creative customers out there. We have not only the people on the construction side that really execute what's already been designed, we have the people that actually create the vision, that really bring their creativity to life, and that are really rightly worried about what actually happens with AI in the world, right? So does AI actually replace me as an architect? Does the AI replace my creativity? Does AI put me out of a job? And that's actually not what we think. We believe very strongly that AI really has amazing potential in unique ways to augment humans, to really create stuff that nobody would have come up before by themselves. There's this term that Yuval Harari uses for AI. It's called alien intelligence. It's not a human intelligence, it's an alien intelligence that thinks and creates and acts different from humans. And that means that by adding such a resource to our creative process, we're able to expand the option space. We're able to come up with new ideas, unimaginable solutions, and that really drives the quality of what we see in the built world. So, what do we do? How do we actually make this a reality? We have all those 15 plus minus companies in our portfolio, and how can we connect them? How can we build the operating system that allows us to move fast with unified force and spend our resources in the right way? That was the question that we asked ourselves, and the answer that we gave is we're building a NEMETSCHECK-wide AI layer. That AI layer is, again, it's the operating system for all things that we do with AI. It builds the infrastructure and the components, the policies, the security, and all that allows our brands and our central R&D team to innovate at a rapid pace. And that rapid pace of innovation leads to multiple different outcomes. We'll see workflow agents that are embedded in our tools that really take over individual tasks that oftentimes, for example, architects don't really want to focus on. There's a lot of documentation work and fixing the details that nobody really went to architecture school for. And these are the things that we really want to address with those workflow agents. We are also building various other smart features. We have Bluebeam, for example, that are integrating AI in subtle ways. For example, how you stitch together different drawings. It's today a very tedious manual process, and AI can do that for you, saving you a lot of time. And lastly, we just launched our new AI assistant that we co-developed with Google. Very grateful for the collaboration on that one. This AI assistant is a platform, and I'm going to talk about that in a moment a little bit more, that really sits in all our brands, connects the brands in new ways, and allows users to interact with the software in a different way than before. We actually have a little demo video here that I want to play back to you.
AI is changing the way architects work. And as we become more tech-savvy, adopting intelligent tools that understand who you are and help you become better at what you do is empowering. Especially when these tools partner with you. The AI assistant helps turn challenges into inspiration.
Let's compare these cork and linoleum references for staircase design.
Sure, here's the result comparing the two materials.
And inspiration into reality.
What would be the fire resistance?
Here are the approximate values. I would suggest cork if you're balancing natural materials and moderate fire resistance. You can also use AI Visualizer to explore the idea.
Okay, let me apply cork for the stairs. Please run a compliance check on these construction drawings for font consistency, labeling, dimensioning, and legibility according to our studio standards.
Here are the compliance check cards.
By adapting to your workflow, the AI assistant drives collaboration, so you and your team can move from ideas to execution without missing a beat.
Select the first floor column at grid line C3 and show it in 3D.
The AI assistant is more than a tool. It's a shift in how you think, work, and deliver projects. Available starting from June 2025. Stay tuned.
All right. So this is actually the starting point for us. We just launched this as a beta version in some of our design brands. Early customers are actually using it already as of today. And we're going to expand this further and further to our other brands. You just saw in the video the workflows, they're changing, right? So you no longer click through a very complex user interface. You're actually changing the way you build stuff by interacting with an AI assistant. And you're also connecting this to the other parts of the value chain by extending this to the construction phase and more. So for us, that AI assistant is not just a use case. It's really a platform that allows us to innovate going forward. We're taking all the steps and accelerating this project as much as possible right now to embed it in all of our brands, so we have the platform ready that can help us to bring in use cases at any point in time, decoupled from regular release cycles, which in our desktop software sometimes can be a little bit longer. We really want to make sure that we can meet the pace that is required for AI in this case. And what we're starting with is passive assistance. That means anything that you can ask the assistant. It doesn't immediately interact with the product just yet. It helps you understand how to use the product the best way. It gives you the domain insights, and there's a lot of domain insights for architecture. You need to know about regulation. That's just not on a country level, but really on a state or city level even. You can upload documents where you have, for example, the design requirements for your projects. You need to check these versus what you're building. Huge time sink today. And we're really helping users to generally move much faster to that. The next step up is really a major UX transformation, where the AI assistant takes the user along the journey. Our users have been trained 3, 4, 5 years on those expert tools. It's a steep learning curve, and they've invested a lot. We want to take them on a journey to gradually transition into a new operating way, where they can use AI in a different way to start with maybe text-based interaction, but then ultimately multimodal, very rich interaction with an AI to create things in a different way. And that's the start for it. And the third thing really is interoperability. I mentioned earlier, we have those quite disconnected phases in the ECO industry. That's not just our company, it's a general topic. And with AI, we believe that we can connect the different phases in a very different way by enabling the AI to tap into the different source systems, interact with them through agents, and then bring it together on a higher level. That means we'll be moving more and more into that active future where AI is enabling users to do things, or AI is actually doing things for the user. And that's going to be driving a lot of productivity. So very strategic initiative for us, and I'm very much looking forward to building this out over the next couple of months. So please stay tuned, and please follow us on Instagram as well to stay up to date with what we're releasing. Thank you very much, and now we have the second part.
Very much, and a big, I don't get this, this was not the applause he deserved. One more time, big applause for Julian. I love that. Thank you so much for these insights, and also that you are taking your employees and the customers really on a journey, so that all things they've done in the past is not just lost, but they will get along with you on the AI transition. Now we actually want to welcome Saskia on stage. Saskia, please join us. Big applause. Because we are not just letting you go yet, there is more to know. Please enjoy a little bit of a fireside chat.
So yeah, thank you. That was quite impressive. Thanks for showcasing AI Assistant here at Google Cloud Summit. Let's discuss this project a bit in more detail. So building a sophisticated, industry-specific AI assistant is like a monumental undertaking. Why was Google Cloud the right strategic partner for that project?
Yeah, I think there's many reasons for that, right? So if you think about Google, I think there's pretty much just Google who's positioned in a way with metal to model coverage, basically, from TPUs all the way through the infrastructure to the machine learning models to GenAI models that are really cutting edge, plus all the services that make it very easy to consume. That was a big factor for us. The second thing is more maybe longer term. If we look at what Google does, I think there's very few companies out there that are positioned as well to win the AI race than Google, with all the research units that Google is now integrating very deeply into the AI effort, the streamlining of the organization and what has been happening over the last 2-3 years. Super impressive to see, and we actually expect Google to continue that leadership well into the future. That's the other thing. And maybe the third thing is a little bit more general. We're going through a massive transition as a company. We have to actually reinvent ourselves in drastic ways. Having Google on our side, who's doing the same thing, is very inspiring. So Google, if you think about Google, you have Google Search, which was the core product and is still the core product, right? And there's a lot of new innovation that has to happen around that with GenAI. And we see the steps that Google are taking, and it's very impressive and inspiring, and we believe that we can learn from that.
Thank you. I'm obviously very pleased to hear that. All right, so having an idea is like one thing, but I think execution is everything. So can you walk us through the journey from like having an initial idea to a working proof of concept?
Yeah, that's a great question. When I started at NEMETSCHECK, I did a little bit of like thinking before I actually started, and one thing that became very clear to me from the beginning was we actually have to reimagine our tools quite a bit. They're really great tools, but they have a very long learning curve, and we can't have that in the future. We need to change those tools to become more human native. And that idea of really transforming how users interact with our software starts basically with an AI assistant. And funny enough, on my second day at NEMETSCHECK, Google launched the Project Astra demo on YouTube. I always say, like, if you guys didn't launch that, I would have had to build something obviously much lower key myself, but really took that video, circulated in the company, and that really opened eyes, really from our C-level to the engineering teams, to the product managers, inspiring them to show what you can do with an AI assistant that is multimodal, that sees the world through your eyes and really has the smartness to do a lot of different use cases off the shelf. That was super inspiring. And that got a lot of people excited as well in the company, and lots of smart people that we got together, built a POC, and as you know, POCs are quite easy to build many times. We did that quite quickly, 3 to 4 weeks, had something working in one of our software suites, and that really opened the remaining eyes in the company that it's actually possible to do something like this in the AECO industry, in expert tools like ours. And well, that paved the way for where we are today with the AI assistant becoming a production service.
That sounds very smooth. Didn't you face any challenges?
Oh yeah, there's obviously, behind the scenes, the sausage is made in a different way, right? So what you see typically is going from POC to production. This is like 90% of the work, right? So everybody said like, oh, we have that POC going. When can we launch it? There's a lot of steps to be taken, and we're in the middle of that right now with the beta launch as one of the milestones. Definitely a lot of things to discover. Then the second thing is really around our unique setup at NEMETSCHECK. We're coming from that financial holding kind of environment to now a more integrated company that learns to work together in new ways. And we're pretty much at the forefront of this. We are the first central R&D team that actually drives initiatives and services from the group level. And coordinating contributions by 15 brands, making sure that people collaborate and incentivizing them to collaborate and motivating them to think about the group over the brand. That's obviously a lot of work and very inspiring work, and we have really, really lots of people that are excited about that, and that keeps me going every day, basically.
All right, so I think we can hear the complexity. Besides that, I think it's also a very massive financial investment. So can you also share some insights how the AI assistant fits into the overall broader NEMETSCHECK business strategy?
Yeah. So for me, there's two answers, right? So AI is not a question if you do it, it's a question how you do it. So I believe that, especially in software companies, in 3, 4, 5 years, there will be only AI-first companies. And I mean that with every sense of the word. There will be only AI-first companies, and that's one part of it. The second part is, if you think about the built world, if you walk around most of our cities, we have a lot of good buildings, right? You walk through the city in Munich, it's beautiful, it's good. But do we have masterpieces, excellence in architecture? Do we have excellence in the engineering out there? I would say 95% of buildings are not like that. And we really have the unique opportunity now with AI to make every building a masterpiece. And we can help augment people in a way, the architects, the engineers, the building operators, to redesign and shape buildings in a very different way than we do it today. And imagine the impact that we have in the world. I like to quote 90-40-20. 90% of building projects are over time and over budget. That's pretty much unacceptable in any industry except for ours. 40% of the global CO2 emissions come from the build sector. We're talking a lot about sustainability in using bikes and everything. That's great. But the lever that we have in the build world, it's amazing. We can really shape the course of the world. And then 20% of material is wasted. That's not just an economical problem, but also a sustainability and logistics problem. And if we fix that, I believe we can really have an outsized impact on the world. And that is one of the things. Thank you. And that's actually one of the things that really motivated me to join NEMETSCHECK. Google is a really amazing company, so it was not easy to leave, I have to say. But that mission that we're on, it's super inspiring. And yeah, having that outsized impact is just something like a dream job in many ways.
All right, so that was it from my side. I'm looking forward to continue the journey together with you, and let's see what cool things we can build in the future.
Thank you very much for being such a great partner in crime.
Thank you.
Well, one more time, a big applause for both of them. Saskia, Julian, thank you so much for being here with us today, telling this fantastic story. And you mentioned POC to production is 90% of the work. How long did it actually take you?
How long does it take us? So POC was maybe 3-4 weeks, especially building on Google, it's quite easy. But then integrating that into the enterprise policies, right? Integrating that into our various software suites, building the middleware that connects the different requirements. It's quite complex, and you have not only the technical part, the R&D is really one part, but really the collaboration part. How do you set up a product management team that is able to distill the requirements from 15 different parties that all have competing requirements? How do you prioritize these? How do you trade things off, and how do you assign business value to all those requirements? That's a quite complex challenge. And taking the group along the journey and unlocking that collaboration mode along the way by leading with a good example, that's also, yeah, a big task.
Quite a journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. Now, looking into the audience, do you have questions for Julian? Spying a little bit, left, on the right. Oh yes, fantastic. Pia saw it for me. Fantastic. Great.
Thank you so much for the presentation. And touching on POC to life, what did you consider in the design of going live? What were specific learnings, challenges, or recommendations?
That's a very big question. I'll try to focus on some examples. When it comes to serving 15 different product lines, I think that's more like the analogy for most companies out there. Being flexible in the architecture and being able to cover, let's say, very different sources of data and different pre-existing cloud components, no matter where they are, That's one big thing that also drove us to Google with BigQuery Omni and similar services. The second thing is we're not massively large yet at this use case and this platform, so we have to trade off in many ways, right? And being fast is one of our main objectives, and having this built in a way that is low maintenance is the other. We want to focus on the value add instead of the infrastructure, right? This is where we found Google Cloud Services super helpful. We're building on a lot of the past services that Google offers, whether it's Vertex or managed databases and so forth. That really helps us to focus our R&D team on the things that really move the needle for our customers instead of rebuilding what Google has already built in a much better way, right? So I think that's one of the things that we're driving quite intensely now. It also allows us to more or less automatically benefit from the advancements that we see coming to Vertex AI. We don't want to keep up, and we are not able to keep up with that pace, obviously. Google is super fast, and we want to tap into all the good stuff that Google is building as much as possible.
Great. And I saw we've already have a next question. Here, the man in the middle.
Thanks for the presentation. Quick question on the Google services you're using to achieve this. You talked about Vertex AI, but are you using Spanner or BigQuery or any of those tool sets you can share, if you can share?
Yeah. Won't be able to go into all the details of the architecture, but it's actually, it's quite funny. Like, if you think about AI, I think the pre-Gen AI era was we need a lot of deep machine learning work, and 80% of the work goes into that. Now we find actually with Gen AI, 80% of work is infrastructure, regular cloud infrastructure, and then you call models by APIs, and you do obviously some optimization there. So generally, that's how we split work. And in terms of the service that we're using a lot of BigQuery, Firebase, and the usual services. And we build it as much as possible serverless. So Cloud Run is a big component that we make heavy use of. And then obviously Vertex AI, looking into great tools such as Notebook LM and Agent Space and so forth, on what we can do there also for our customers. Besides, by the way, we're also driving a lot of use cases internally for our own internal productivity. There's where Google is coming in with a lot of great services as well.
Great, thank you. Any more questions? Looking to the right side, left side. People are still processing this. It's a lot of information, a lot of really good insights. I think we can all learn a lot. So for those who are still processing, keep processing. You will get the chance to very quickly meet Julian and Saskia outside in the expert lounge, but not for very long, because Julian will be back in our next session, in the last session, which is actually a live podcast recording here on stage. So before that, Julian, Saskia, thank you so much for being here with us today. Big applause for both of them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for all the insights. See you in 15 minutes. See you probably also in 15 minutes. You are allowed to use this long, beautiful way back behind the stage. And for everybody on the audience, feel free to stay here, but also use a little break until, let me check. I got confused. What time are we starting? At 5:15. So a little bit more than 15 minutes break before a live podcast recording will happen on this stage. Very much looking forward to seeing you back here in 15 minutes.